It's really a hassle, you know. Uh, Even my overlay is not working properly. Overlay properties. Okay. No. Oh. Yeah, of course. There. Let's go back to the game. Okay. Anyhow, the priority is the game, so I'm gonna go back to the game, and then maybe after the game, after this case, I hope to finish the case before we go for lunch. You know, but it's already 11, so maybe after, if it so happens that we have lunch early today or something, I'm gonna take a break for that moment and then just go live again to continue the game today. I want to finish this case today. Okay? Let's do our best. Anyhow, so we're going back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'll probably use this PNG my mama gave me for the rest of the game. Okay? Hope you don't mind. I'm sorry for those who are excited for the model. It's pretty sad that it's acting up and making it the trouble for me to stream properly. Sad. I need a new PC. Honestly, I'm just streaming from my laptop. Anyhow, let's just proceed, okay? Excuse me. To be honest, it's a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about the thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Blustering blazes, do yous not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, there in the center of London is just another beautiful park. Sorry? A park? What? It's called Gilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles. Now that is my vision for the London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its square of people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What's the matter with the blonde and police, I ask you? Ha! Ha! Alright, don't pass out. Still now, Dodo. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGill, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourselves in our hands, what was I have to say in Devon, is it? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? Chotomate. Let me just change my title since it's kind of weird if I'm still using. Welcome back, Chica Fuzzy. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This chancellor of a fellow claims to have more money than the queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. Thank you, Flo. That's the only explanation. Well, exactly. Yes, exactly. What now? Well, like you said, if you have all the money but you don't have anyone to represent you in court, I wish I have all the money, guys. There's no other logical conclusion than that you're good. I'm feeling tired, gonna fall. Okay, please go rest, Chica Pussy. Please. I don't want you getting tired. You don't have school today? You don't have any class? Or you don't have to study for finals? There's no other logical conclusion than that you're guilty of the charges. Well, you call a spade in the East, so you do. You may or may not have Skip. Chica Pasi. I'm sorry, I didn't mean any offense. Welcome back, Captain. I still can't express myself very well in English, you see. Me too. And I'm never sure what's acceptable to say and what isn't, so... is that so? Because you sound fluent enough when you were telling me what a black card I must be. I'm terribly sorry. I can say that I blame you for thinking it, fella. It's a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Good night, rest well, Chica Pasi. Take a good rest. I'm sorry? Oh, welcome back, Coleman. Did you just say Reaper? Hi, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barfanzix. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Green Reaper? Oh, finally it finished downloading. How long did it take, I mean? When Van Dyck stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, 1.5 hour, but in every single trial which he's been prosecuted, the accused has been down. What? So, it's reached a desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Oh, goodness. Lord Baron Van He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word that you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel. That would be his counsel. That would be me. Oh, it's time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. Hi, unicorn! Yeah, we're doing Ace Attorney as well, but this is like the latest one. But even though it's the latest one, it's like the ancestor of Phoenix, right? Basically. Welcome to the stream. Fancy meeting you. How are you? I hope you're doing well. 안녕하세요. 저는 I forgot my Korean comment. Okay, I made up my mind, so I had. Sorry? I decided I had to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance as student of law, wouldn't you know? It's no accident, I can assure you of that. It's fate, so don't get COVID now, please. I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Navajo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. It's okay, you're fairly good at Korean though. 안녕, 안녕. 정말, 안녕. The man has no one. He had to defend alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. It'll be all right there. I'll be right there. I'll be right. Oh my god. I'm using the wrong voice. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Kazuma! Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Oh, the trial is about to start. Finally, our first case in Great Britain. One short day in the Emerald City. Wow. I set fire to the rain. Watch it burn inside and the play. Ooh, fancy. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different from the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere here almost makes the word the atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence It's always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh yes, what? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Hmm. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim. The judge oddly reminds me of Santa, and the red robe doesn't help. Oh, the weather outside is snowing. You know, earlier I was singing like Christmas songs. Santa Claus is coming to court. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim of the underworld. You know, I have a trivia for you guys. The Japanese voice for this prosecutor is actually what was it again? Tsuda Kenji Tsuda, the voice of like the house husband from Way of the House Husband, and also the voice in basically he voiced this character. So if ever we get a cutscene with him there, you Christmas karaoke, yeah, we'll see. But speaking of karaoke, I am aiming if we get like hopefully like 10 or 15 new followers. Yes, the world's sexiest male voice. Exactly. He voices this prosecutor in the Japanese dub. In the Japanese version of the game. And fortunately, you can actually like have English text and then use the Japanese voice as well. So earlier at the start of the game when we were playing the cutscene, which was a really good, really well produced cutscene, you would hear like the voice actors. Naruhodo is voiced by what was his Hiroshi Mono-san, which is the voice of Zenitsu from Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba, and then Susato-san was voiced by the one and only Kana Hanazawa. So yeah, we have a good cast here. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. You speak English. Huh? Oh, yes, of course, sorry. Oh, not Ryunosuke. It's not Ryunosuke that is. Hi, thank you for the follow. Billy, you're here? The liar here. I hope you've had a good time. Join us in the chat. Say hello. Hi. It's not Ryunosuke, it's Van Deeks that is voiced by Tsuda. Ryunosuke is voiced by Hiroshi Mono. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. This one is the one voiced by Tsuda Kenshiro-san. Those eyes please me, Nipponese. Van Zeeks. Oh, Zeeks. Yes. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. A cold shiver just runs down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. Mr. Gilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my love, it's a grand thing to give opportunities to the young, even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the Far East. Yeah, I love Shimona too. He's really an interesting voice actor, you know. Oh, I forgot to read that. But 6 is number 1 because Tsuda-san, yeah. I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to your gilded. What a fine gentleman. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, may we please go and play in the Gilded Park? It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with his words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Reluctantly, but Mr. Bullet in most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Yes, my lord. If the task is to send brothers to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Oh no, I'm gonna have trouble trying to think of the voices for everyone in the jury. Ha! Any criminal here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. Oh, they're not speaking? Okay. I feel a chill. Oh, don't mind me, my dear. I'll just be getting on with my meeting. Must finish this mix while I grandson. Ah, Mr. Naruto. Those people are... The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but... Oh my god, you should become a Seiyuu-nechan. Really? No, I don't even know if I'll be able to remember how I voiced them, you know? I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor Van Zeeks. My lord. Oh no, I forgot. I already forgot his voice. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounce your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance to which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice Fired Mason. Sorry? Thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. Oh my gosh, I should establish some kind of voice here. What would Santa's voice be like? The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. Okay. Face is partly obscured from... okay. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are? Oh, good lord. Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by the policemen who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused, where he was arrested. What? Mr. McGildett's gloves had blood on them? Yes. I will accept these as evidence as well. Wearing at the time of the incident. There is blood stain, okay. How did I get into this? I'm back into a corner before I've even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Well, rather damning circumstance to say the least. Defendant, what say you? Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded? To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. Are you claiming to have been asleep? It's the function of the carriage, my lord Gilden. So it is, when I open my eyes again. You know, guys, I also, basically fall asleep whenever I'm in a vehicle, like a moving vehicle, for example, in a bus, on a car. It lulls me to sleep, you know. Do you also fall asleep easily in vehicles? Unless you're driving, of course, that's not safe. Don't sleep when you're driving, guys. It was a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I've never laid eyes on before in my life. Can never fall asleep in vehicles? Really? Hmm. That's good, you know. At least it's safer if you don't fall asleep. But it's kind of hard if you're, for example, if you're in a long trip, and for example, like plane rides that last for 14 hours or so. Ugh. If you can't fall asleep on those kinds of travels, or maybe like an overnight bus ride, uh, you stayed awake during a red eye flight from Texas to Washington. How long does that take? I'm sorry, I'm not aware. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brick maker was fatally stabbed. Like 3 hours? Oh. Well, that's pretty long, but, well, oh, it's still, yeah, it's long. 3 hours. What do you do when you cannot sleep on a trip? Like, do you just l- look around the surroundings? How do you try to entertain yourself during those times? It's kind of hard to read, you know, but though I do that sometimes. There were times when I was still a student and I had to travel to the uni from my province. Um, red eye means the flight. Oh no. Oh, thank you. That today I learned. Usually with music, yeah. That's something that I also did when I was traveling from the province to the city when I was studying as a student before. And I also, you know, sometimes you have an exam coming up, so I review in the bus on the way to school. To that precise moment, which okay, let me write that. Order. When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. See? I told you. Too bad I can't like imitate his voice properly, you know. It's really unique. Your wish is my command. And of course, bailiff. Bailiff. I can't even do it properly. Bring the witnesses in at once. Go, guys, go listen to Van Zeek's voice on YouTube. It's pretty amazing. Witnesses, your names and occupations. My name is, well, everyone calls me Bebo. Van is so serious, and I is just laughing. Sorry. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city. My name is First. Lady First. Cute. I make hands for a chance. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witnessed to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Quite right. Yes, sir. That's right, sir. Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Oh, yeah, but unfortunately, Kazuma is dead. He passed away in the previous case, unfortunately. Who else did Yuichi voiced? I was looking because I didn't watch Jujutsu Kaisen. That's why I'm not exactly familiar with Gojo. Even though I know how he looks like, I know who Gojo is, but I'm not exactly familiar with Jujutsu Kaisen. That's why I'm sorry. But I'm not so sure who else he voiced though. I think I checked when I was checking the video of this. I mean the Hawks. Okay, Hawks. I know Hawks. Shigure from Fruits Basket remake. Did you know? I never watched Fruits Basket, even like the old one and the new one. But though I'm thinking of watching it. But you know, a lot. Now I have a lot of animes on my to watch list. Oh no. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Maybe something like, each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. But the victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too. Why do they have to have 3 witnesses on stand? It's hard to shift from one voice to another and even remember what they voiced like. Anyhow, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. An ambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. This man witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question if I may. Yes, counsel. Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. What of that case? How could those 2 witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. How quaint. I read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Omnibuses? Maybe omnibuses, not omnibuses. I'm so sorry. Let me check the pronunciation in the dictionary first before I proceed. Omnibus, omnibus. Oh no 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 no. Maybe later. Omni. I've always read that as omnibus, not omnibus. And I know it as like the book containing like a compilation, like a volume of some stuff. For example, like oh,
Omnibus. Omnibus.
omnibus. Okay, omnibus. Ooh. A usually automotive public vehicle designed to carry a large number of passengers. Oh, okay, so it's like a bus. Okay, omnibus. Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you ever traveled in an omnibus? Oh, well, no. We only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I have arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is. What do you mean? The actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much. Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime. Omnibus. Ah! I keep forgetting. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building. What? The entire carriage? Bailiff, bring forth the stricken omnibus. Amazing, wow. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Iris Watson is also voiced by Misaki-kun. Yeah. I see I have a fellow like say you simp here. Unicorn. You also like Japanese seiyus as well. We still have yet to meet Iris, so maybe I don't know if here in this game or in the next game. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Wow! 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 Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. Excuse me. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Alright, rest well. Thank you very much for coming. Captain, have a nice day. Yeah, I love seiyus. I'm subbed to a lot of seiyu channels like Hanai Natsuki. Oh my gosh, you also watch like the Yami no game, the game of darkness that he does with was that Ono Kensho and oh my god, Eguchi Takuya. I love that. Good luck at the court and the omnibus. Thank you, arigato. Bye, Captain. Ishikawa Kaito. Yeah, I don't exactly follow like his channel, but I I listen to I watch like fan subs of like snippets of Yami no game is so entertaining, right? I love that. Kaya no ai Kimura Ryohei Uchida Shu Skylight. Oh, I love Yami no game. These two gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus where the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Yes, exactly, the Uno stuff. Too bad, like the recent Yamino games are not um has no English sub as for now, so I'm currently waiting for them. But I try to. You can actually like still understand it somehow, even though there's no English subs. Yeah, I like there was one game when they played like a card game with where they act as seiyus as well. That one is one of my favorites in the channel. They're really entertaining and yeah, right? And then after I watched like the Yamino games, I also watched his other gameplays as well. So that's where I discovered PN, Hollow Knight, Little Nightmare as well. You know, his game streams are really entertaining, Hanai Natsuki's. I mean, not the exact live streams, but the edits, and he was the one editing them himself, if I remember correctly. Fane? Oh, really? I'm not so aware of that. I don't know the game. I'm not exactly that much of a gamer, to be honest. I usually play like I like Ace Attorney or anything similar to Ace Attorney. I would probably play. So I also played Professor Layton in the past. I love those puzzle games. And um, I recently downloaded, like when Steam sale was up, I downloaded some rhythm games as well. So I enjoy that. So I tried some of them like when I was um not streaming like last week, a few weeks ago, because I was isolated. So I tried some of them, and maybe after I finish Ace Attorney, I'll be able to play those games. Or maybe if I get tired sometime, I'll try to play it on stream as well. So I downloaded Muse Dash and um something, I forgot the titles, but we'll try to play other games as well. But yeah, those are the kinds of games that I play. I mostly do like sometimes I do Japanese study streams and karaoke streams. I think that's one of my main thing now. That makes perfect sense. You know, right now, what I am thinking is, oh, I have to like laugh like a Santa inside my head before I speak. I read the lines of the judge. Well, counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. Why am I? There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. Fane is basically another mafia. Oh, who is playing with? I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Adjusting wigs. Very well. I see no reason why not. Oh, okay. I'll try to check it out sometime. This omnibus is really formally accepted as evidence. 8-seater omnibus. Yeah. Okay. I Can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Uh, ah. Yeah. Yes! Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here. Let us continue with proceedings then. Let us continue with proceedings then. Oh my gosh, I can't settle with the voice for the judge. Your close examination, counsel. But you don't expect this Nippony stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. Apart from that, I'm also jumbled as well. Alright, my first cross-examination in a British court. Ouch. Focus, Leonosuke. Focus. What the witnesses saw. English United. If you can't do voices consistently, then no need to. Did I read it properly? English United? Yeah, there was a time when I was doing like the earlier cases. At the very first time I tried to like do play Ace Attorney. Yay! I read it. Yay! Um the very first time I played this game, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on stream, I really tried to like do voices for everyone, but then the next time I played like the next part of the case, it's pretty tiring to actually like give. So that's why I was actually astonished to how Ashley does on stream like the voices of everyone, and that inspired me to like maybe because after that I tried to like just play it quietly and not read everything out loud. You know, I just like play as I want to, but Ashley kind of inspired me to maybe try again because I'm actually aspiring to be a voice actress myself, but not exactly like voice in stuff like this. But it doesn't harm to do practice. It's just that, of course, it's kind of hard to be able to like remember all the voices that you're trying to give to everyone. That's what I'm struggling with right now, but it's fun. It's fun. I'm having fun doing this. And we'll just see. If I get tired, I won't really push myself that much. Since I read this earlier, we can just, go ahead and just press it without reading everything. I mean, the testimonies. Maybe when we press, we will read. Yes, the great Raven has inspired me. Yeah, I mean, isn't it great? He really did so well in his streams. And then the reason why I'm streaming right now is because he's not streaming right now. Oh, yeah, I forgot. No, let's go back to that. I forgot to press. Let's press everything. Ah! Okay. Fudge. It doesn't let me go back. Okay. Let's try it again. Alright, so when it happened, the only two people in the unclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend to the deed. I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGillicuddy really innocent? Or could it be? Before we jump into conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment. Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again, a little more carefully this time. Okay, wait. Before we. Wait, so we press and then. I want to actually check the one we have in the court record before. Wait, okay.
Mata!
Mata! See, we hear Hiroshimono. Nezuko-chan! Nezuko-chan! I think it was sometime after 10, was it? Oh yes, that's right, yes. Ever so cold it was, freezing in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time? Is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, of course, though. No. There were other passengers where the incident took place. No one alighted, for example. You're quite right, sir. That's no other passengers either. No, none. So nobody fled at the scene of crime then. I have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does. I never heard that kind of voice from Shimano. Every evening, that last buzz of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. What do you mean by that? What with it being so cold and everything and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spent that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Oops. It's kind of weird. Were sat? Sorry, not gonna. Let's press.
Mata!
And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage? Oh, that's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on the inside, so I had a pretty good view. The two of them were wearing hats, so I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's no shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. Why? Ooh. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? Miss McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There's no room for doubt here. I really wish there was. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his gut.
Mata!
I think I can call him. Ah. Yeah. You actually saw the exact moment it happened? Didn't I already testify to that? Or are fair dinkum, hardworking city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail. My lord. Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. I forgot what voice I gave him. Made up about what? I don't like the stinking of it. Never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. Oh. There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter. Anyway. Hold it. That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. Oh no. What the? What is happening here? Oh, let me see. Yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scale of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. Now I'm even more worried than I was before. We can't interrupt the witness testimony, and that's what's with this huge fire hazards. And the stands are all made of wood. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know, right? Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. This is a nightmare. I screamed at it. Mata! He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about the new hat design, you see. So I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. Aww. But then, I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly. That huge great knife. A grim sight indeed. That didn't help me at all. The jury looked like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McDonald is telling the truth. Isn't telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Mr. First. Oh, yes, sir. Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief. Yes, that's it. The very one, sir. Is that? Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. That is a blade of considerable size, counsel. It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Please, no. For Magnus, perhaps? Or Matilda, possibly? Well, take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake. But, but there are M's everywhere. Like, yes, like in Mason. You heard that? This blade is far too extravagant for a poor maker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Yes, that was from Tsuda. Ah, juror number 2. Go on.
Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman. And a gentleman's word should be
Sacrosanct. What? What even is that word? I'll gonna check later. Let me write that down. Actually, sacrosanct.
However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait! Oh, what are you about to do?
Dispose of the rubbish.
Oh no! No!
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
Hold
it.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today. Sacrosanct, regarded as too important or valuable to be interfered with. Ooh, thank you. Thank you very much. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Oh no! Not again! That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information.
We're still very much in the dark. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly. We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But... Alright, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements once again. Before we listen, I want to check the court record, you know. Of course, we haven't even checked anything yet. So, Armband... oh, he inherited it from Kazuma. Okay, next. Our report prepared... Y'all haven't heard the full story that is irresponsible in reality. This can pass because it could literally mean accidentally putting innocent. Yeah, you know. What are those jury thinking about even? I don't know though, because this is something new. This is a new feature in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So the jury is all new. It's not present in the previous games, right? If I remember correctly, there's nothing like that even in the... I haven't really played like the Miles Edgeworth case. I mean the games of Miles Edgeworth. I played like Apollo Justice, Phoenix Wright, but yeah, the jury is something new here, so we'll just see, you know. I think they have to like think of something new, of course, to a new feature in the game. internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound of the abdomen. Let's check space examine. Victim, thrice fired mason, 54 brickmaker, February 15. I don't even know what I prefer, an impatient jury or a talkative judge. Yeah. February 15, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife whilst journeying in an omnibus. Died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. Next we have crime scene photograph. Knife clearly visible. Face partly obscured. An old crooked hat. Examine. Button is missing. Which we can check anyway. Next, leather gloves that the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. Oh. Sorry. Space. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with our own first day in London. Well, nothing will come out of grumbling now. No. By the way, is Mr. Gillett right-handed?
Yes, I believe so.
He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier. Ha! Pretty. If only he'd been left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. There. I believe we can rotate it. Anything else we can infer here? Just the blood? I think that's the design. Anything else? See here, just the blood. Okay. Even in the thumb. That's the same, right? Okay. Back. Next, let's check the omnibus. This is something that's I'm excited to check out. Whee! Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? Oh, it was Sato speaking. Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? This uniform order is horrible. Wow. That's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition. Ooh, the Crystal Tower? It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. Okay. Have you seen enough? That's that. No. Oh no. No. Let's go back in. We're not yet done. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and that seed
Would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder? Well,
It was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here. So perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight? Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Ah, that's a poster for. Oh, okay. Is this the same? Okay. Let's look at the nothing on the floor. The other side. I remember a toilet in my school looked like an omnibus seat. Eh? Really? Like green? This seat has a handle, it seems. Ooh. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running. This house is. What? Wait, what? Why is there blood in your toilet in school? Feeding tubs, tools of to repair, wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. Yeah. It's pretty tough when you have a period, you know. I mean, good for me that I don't like have menstrual cramps, or I don't get that much of a cramp, but it's kind of hard for other girls, you know. Oh no. That's something you have to learn to do though. You have to keep the toilet clean after. I mean, just to be polite to the other users, you know. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to store their luggage, that's for sure. Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway. Is there any other thing here? It's just the same. Oh, yeah, it's just the same. Well, light doesn't exist in this part of America, apparently. Oh. That's too sad. Let's look at the roof. The skylight. A skyline. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes. That's why American public toilets should never get bidets. We don't deserve it. Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least. Okay, I think we're done with examining inside the... Are we? Yes. We can go outside now. Outside. Where the coachman sits. Before we examine like the roof deck, let's just go over and look at everything around. Oh, Phoenix Wright Omnibus. I wonder why they placed 418. fascinating, you know. Baker Street. So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here. So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with cold air rushing past them, and they have to pay money to do so? I can't imagine how cold it must feel. That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in freezing cold as a punishment? Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. Yeah, true. All that rain. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. But where were they seated though? Are they really seated in here? Yeah, we have that already. It's the same as that. It's also the same. I think there's nothing else we can get from here. So let's go back. Last piece here is the murder weapon. Large knife that was found lodged in the victim's abdomen. Quality and fancy ornamentation such as that part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Navajo? Oh, sorry. Yes, I just don't really like blades. Oh. But those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. That looks like a lot like blood. It surely is blood. It's blood, the victim's. An English man's blood. Looks a lot like Japanese man's blood. Duh. Did you think it wouldn't? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Yeah, I do understand. Oh, this is the M. An ornate letter M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGillet's initial. And it's beautifully gilded too. It must be very valuable, I should think. Ah, what is it? Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything. A W? Yes, this is one of those, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. I'm afraid I don't know at all, but what I'm sure of is that this is an M. Oh. Oh, that idea was quickly washed. Why wouldn't it be a W though? Is there anything else in here? No? Okay, let's look at the people. People are people. So we have, of course, Susato Mikotoba. We have Male Strongheart. Lord Chief Justice. We have Magnus McGilded. He's 48. Finance case. How old is Susato? 16. Oh, wow. Traveling to Britain at 16. 52. Healthy philanthropist, wonderful reputation in London. Baron Van Zieks is 32 years old, the prosecutor known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Supposedly, the souls of those he prosecutes are entirely damned one way or another. Thrice fired Mason, victim. Mm-hmm. People. Susato is 1 year younger than you. Yeah. Maybe two, because you said that you're gonna like turn 18 soon, right?誕生日 おめでとう. 생일 축하합니다. 생일 축하합니다. 사랑하는 유니콘 생일 축하합니다. Advance. Bibo 62. Mm-hmm. Okay. Bruce, fair play. Lady first. Nice name, lady first. Milliner. Mm. Okay. We've read everything, so let's try to check the. ありがとうございます。お願いしまして。How did you just memorize it? What do you mean? Like the Korean version of Happy Birthday? Or you just yeah. I just know it. I mean, there's even a version from Dream High where they sang like a different version of Happy Birthday. 겨울에 태어나 사랑하는 당신은 꿈처럼 나나난 나나나나난 생일 축하합니다. 생일 축하합니다. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Where do I... Oh, we haven't pressed this one yet. Like, how would you see from...
Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was.
Oh, and by the passenger, obviously you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And then the other passenger had the knife in his hand like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you're referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McDildon.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
What? What? That doesn't make sense. My lord, I wish to speak. Yes, juror number 5. Do it take that you two, as the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. What? No, no, no! But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say. No, you haven't heard everything!
Yep, now Silver Blaze, the finish is in sight.
No! No, 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 no!
Bipo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir.
Oh no, this is too unkind, sir.
Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man.
No!
Lola! Help, Lola! Oneesan, tasukete kudasai.
You know, yeah?
Madam Juror number 6. Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Oh, dear. The thing is, I'm a creature of habit, you see. I always go to the park at around this time of the day and sit on a nice bench and get on a grind thing. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGillet Park it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know. To put a smile on the Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely.
Mother, may we go to the Gilded Public Library later and borrow some books?
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know what kind of a man Magnus McGillet really is? What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist Magnus McGildet has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls. A man like that would make a perfect candidate to get away with murder. What kind of logic? What? Stone crows! McGildet lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He's a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard of any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madame. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? You're not saying that the victim, a poor brick maker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGildet. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to pay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender Magnus McGildet. I don't believe it.
If I might add something briefly,
Mrs. Apple?
you claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGildet, but where is the evidence to support your claim?
Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in the court of law. Yeah, I love Hanazawa Kana.
でもそんなだダメでもそんなじゃほら
Aha! Already is Lord Van Zeek's hallowed chalice. How can this be considered acceptable? But I find myself in an unexpectedly good humor. Yeah! Ono Kensho? Yeah. I had heard ladies from far east could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself. Ah!
As judicial assistant to the defense, I'm simply doing my job. Oh, what a pity your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You'll find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Ah, allow me to present this ledger as evidence. Why did you not give this earlier, And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A marvelous counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Catalog of people who had borrowed money from the defendant at a high rate of interest includes the victim who owed 20 guineas. Guineas. Yeah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Oh well, it would seem I've had a wool pulled over my eyes. Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little part to a scoundrel. Oh no! No! Still, maybe it's all for the best. Oh no! Oh, wait! Let's think about this a little bit more. I don't stand for nonsense. Oh no. Oh no. Why? That was it the last juror's decision? Seriously? Grandma? According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. Final verdict. It's over then. Oh! There's a footnote though. A footnote? However, the defense... All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case. So, tamate. Let's look at the last proof. The ledger. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets from the London gentry. Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside? Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, isn't it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder. I assure you we will not find Mr. Soames' name inside. Well, let's see what we find. Gosh, it's so crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, aren't they? After all, not everyone in this court is well off. And this country is well off. Ah, goodness! What is it? What is it? Look at this. Do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar. Actually, Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment? Oh yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment day is fast approaching. It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information. Okay. Anything else we can find here? Nothing else? No, I think there's nothing else we can find here. Let's go back.
I want to have some snacks. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and rightful decision. According, according to the law of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections. Mrs. Sato, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense. What did it say next? Oh, yes, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. A summation examination? Criminal court shouldn't be swift. It should be well thought out. So you don't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, considering that the punishment for the accused, if found guilty, is like corporal punishment, like being sentenced to death. That's really something you wanna avoid at all costs, right? From which century has that you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that the book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Uh, what even is it, Mrs. Sato? This so-called summation examination. Oh, one moment and I'll read about it. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse their decisions. Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decisions. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use. I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Huh? Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. Hmm. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? A summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Of course we assert our right. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord. London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial. Yeah, the defense petition is perfectly valid. It's a legal code. The court will proceed with the summation examination. Oh, this is madness. Foreman, have you and the remainder of the jury ready? You can't object an objection, though. The judge should overrule it. Yeah. Eh? Well, there was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so all members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before.
I don't really hold all this justifying luck. That seems to have thrown the jurors off. It seems none of them have experienced this before. Alright then, the summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we're looking for to turn this trial around. So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGildet, guilty of this most serious crime. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I trust the driver. He has excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers, with fares totaling 20 pence.
He snuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say, absolutely brazen.
I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion. Are you ready?
Thank you for the reading. We can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices for above 4 pence for years.
The scoundrel!
Stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. On the floor? Why do you guys keep saying on the floor? I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors doesn't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We'll need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Oh, I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately,
Once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do?
oh dear, I'm just citing what I've just read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then?
Well,
From what I can understand, The key to this procedure is using the juror's own words to make your arguments. What do you mean? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says and see if we can find any contradictory statements. If we can contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, that is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. All right, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off. Can we start the proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Jury examinations. The defense rebuttal. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him. Let's press. Certainly, the testimonies we have heard suggest that the victim and Mr. McDilded were alone inside the carriage. Precisely my point. But, could there be some other explanation, something we haven't considered yet? Such as... perhaps that's something we could, all work out together now. Now, listen here. Maybe you don't know how things work around here because you're from foreign climes. But we're here to form our opinions as individuals, and I have. Oh dear, he doesn't appear to be in the mood to consider an alternative point of view, does he? No, I'm going to have to pit the jurors against one another, like Susato-san said. Finding contradictions in these six people's assertions is the only way I'm going to succeed. I trust the driver. Oh yeah, we've heard this. But does his ability to recall his takings that night really tell us how trustworthy the man is? I manage all his lordship's cash affairs, so I'm very particular when it comes to accounts. I see. A single penny can mean the difference between life and death after all, can it? Let's say in your country? My point is, a man who finds his figures is a man you can trust. Those of us in service would swear to that, sir. Does that bench really need any more polishing? If the good driver says that he saw Mr. McGilded in the act, I don't doubt him. The only task left to do is disposing of the rubbish. No, wait a minute. One of the other jurors mentioned something about money, I think. Yeah. Now would be a very good time to listen carefully to the jurors' statements again. Yes. If you notice any inconsistency in what 2 different jurors are saying, I should expose it by putting it. How do you put them? Let's... I wanna... go to the... We can try... Yeah, this. Let's press this one. 4 pence. And there are 4 passengers. It should just be 16 pence then, in total. That's how much it costs to take the omnibus? That's right. As the guildmaster, I decided to set a policy for the drivers across the city. One fare, no matter which bus you take or how far you're going. Hmm. We have to compete with the rise. We have to compete with the rise of motor car. You see, us coachmen have to make a stand together. Motor cars, you say? Yes. And this murder on one of our buses extremely damaging to our cause. It's beyond the pale. It will lead to a decline in passengers, you mark my words. And it's all that rascal's fault. He has to pay. Anyway, every member of my guild is reliable and trustworthy. So if the driver says he saw him do it, that fellow in the dock is as guilty as sin. So Pit. Okay. Let's. Why can't I go back to the previous?
So we just need to find two jurors with contradictory statements that pit them against each other. Which is so much easier than said than done. Is that perhaps what you were thinking?
How did you know?
Well, I took the liberty of doing some research in case you happen to find yourself in just such a situation. Shall I read to you what I found? It's a little long, I'm afraid. Oh, please go ahead.
Thank you for the hydrate. Let me drink first.
Very well. Listen to this.
Excuse me. Sorry. I burp.
During the summation examination, you will hear the assertions of the 6 members of the jury. In this situation, the counsel for the defense should use R and Pit with impunity.
Yeah, that's true.
Having done so, you will be able to compare the chosen assertion with those of the other jurors. Select the corresponding buttons to listen to the other jurors' assertions again. Note that you cannot choose the assertion of the juror you initially selected. Nor can you choose assertions of jurors who have changed their leaning to not guilty already. Once you've compared the various jurors' assertions, work out which two contradict each other and then pit them together with R to pull them apart.
I see. She wasn't joking when she said it was long.
The first step is to listen carefully to what each individual juror has to say. Then I'm sure you'll start to see which ones might not quite agree with each other. Alright, oyasumi. 잘 자요. 잘 자요. Good night. Oyasumi.
Yes, Unicorn, thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it. Alright then, let's get this right now so I never have to listen to that long and boring explanation again.
That's the spirit.
Let's fit this one. There has to be one, so it has to be him. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. They do? Explain yourself, Counsel.
Me? Oh dear. What have I said?
I swear on Silver Blaze's maiden name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about. According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question, and according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. That it is. Fair and convenient single price, just the way London's carriages should be operated. But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man? Why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each.
If you do the multiplication,
Ah, it would be 16 pence.
exactly.
As I said, it doesn't add up.
The figures are different.
By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare?
Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible.
Oh, there was another passenger we
Heard nothing about.
Good gracious. This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men. One and all, trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up.
Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy. I beg your pardon.
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Ah! Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end, huh?
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side on and off the set the scales.
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to... wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo.
Yay!
This is all very irritating.
Beg your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same.
Ooh. Yeah, yatta! For the love of Mike, not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. You did it.
If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds,
We can force the trial to continue. 2 more, actually. There's something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions. But that's where you must strike next. She's exactly like Maya, exactly, right? So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions.
exactly, you can do it.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavily on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Will it be the same? I'm changing my living to innocent. I should like to hear what this slipshod bookkeeper has to say for himself.
Let's pit this one with the one. This one. Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, post haste.
Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? Well, we've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror member number 3. What? Can't you see that I'm busy here? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ha! Want to test me, do you? It was like this, stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up, just like the brim banker said. Yes, that was Mr. Flay's testimony, quite true. Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, it's that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move. Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to the victim without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions. What?
Bless my stitches, what a muddle.
What this tells us is that there is a strong possibility that one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. Oh, but why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience? Oh, dearie me.
I can't abide people telling lies.
Yay! Yay, it's in balance.
The scales! The scales!
I don't believe it.
Hold it!
Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clear some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on all of us. If I could use magic here, do you think I'd be putting myself through all of this? Answer me this, dark jinx. Huh? Me? What exactly is the problem? What of it? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of the events? What of it? Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to the victim, next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor and then the Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, Oh, who are you calling dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife, do you?
I'm calling old. Why, I should take this needle to you. Arnie! Irashai. Good afternoon. How are you? How are you doing? Welcome.
Welcome again. You hate taxi cabs, did you? Are you in transit right now or something? Oh no, you got scammed? Why? How? Oh no. Oh no. Like a meter. Oh no.
They're ready to kill each other now.
Went up a hill and then down. Really? Oh my gosh. I mean, it's been a long time since I took a taxi in the metro, so that's quite fast. Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments at the same time? Never again, forever, never, amen. mm, that's really sad though. But so the meter went like that. But did you have to like pay for extra? Like when they never give you the change back if you pay. If you pay for more than, for example, you are charged um like 175 pesos, for example, and then you would give 200, and they would never give the change back. Is that happening as well, or no? Hmm. It's out of the question because there's no blood on the floor. There's only blood on the seat, and the knife was also stuck while the victim was seated, so it's out of question. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman. Sorry. What is it, you dark jinx? Come on, out of it. What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. Huh? Ah. Oh, what are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? Do you realize that I'm only doing my job? As foreman of the jury, I have responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me proof. Sotomate. I want to save before we proceed. Okay. Let's go back. It looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by this picture. Right? This is the only proof that we have. Because, as shown in the picture, he is seated. He's not on the floor. This clear piece of evidence. Well, Mr. Foreman? Do you know what they say about me, young man? They say I've got no powers of persuasion. Oh, I see. I'm sorry to hear that. Huh? But no one will need persuading about this. You're even worse than me. What? Eh? So you mean the carriage? If you'll allow me another chance, I'd like to present to you one more piece of evidence to consider. Wait. No, sige. Let's try. It should be this one. Like inside the carriage, there's no... This is the only proof. This is the only other proof we have. I think. Oh no. Oh no. Load. Oh, this one. Single stab. Okay. I'm sorry. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once. Only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can possibly have seen it happen two different times. Alright, I concede defeat. Yay! Wait, that that means four jurors are now leaning to not guilty. We've done it, Mr. Navajodo. We've we've won. What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this irregular sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Ugh. Please tell me he's a barber. Well, in quite a remarkable turn of events, the defense summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. Yay! I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth. Can we have a break? Can I take a break for a bit, guys? Let me just like get some snack. I'm getting pretty hungry. Please, guys, also please take a break, go eat, or you know, take a piss for a bit. I'm just going to take a short break and get back. Okay, okay. Let me go to some. Let me like pause at some time where there will be music, so that we have background music while I'm out. Okay. Wow. I know the animation here is pretty unique, pretty smooth, having flavored the rich aroma of the common contents of this hallowed chalice. It may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discordancy. Lord Van Zeeks. It's called here, or it's just me. As the antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination, so I honor the deathly silence and listen to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury. Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle. Wow. Bring forth the witnesses once more. Okay, let me pause here. Let me get some food. Hey. Oops. Sorry. This should be the one. I'll be right back. Okay? am back, guys. I hope you had your break. Tatamate. Should I? No, no. Okay, let's turn off the slow mode. Okay. Alright. Let's go back. I have some snacks here. I'm getting hungry, and my brother is still preparing our lunch for today, so I trust you have the summation examination we have just have to endure. I might not be able to like read everything while I eat, okay? Oh yes, but that I of course I have heard it. Oh yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end, the coachman. I believe it's a Beppo. Yes, my lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Oh, mio Dio. Mm-hmm. um, I'm not gonna read for a bit, okay? I'm gonna eat first while I play. I only carried 4 passengers that night as well, but well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. Ooh! He fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood curdling inside as well. It's all too much. Oh. Council, make sense of this for me, please. Phantom thief, fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. Other confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage. What the heck is cousinage? Why are you throwing these words at me? Can't even use it in Wordle. Not 5 letters. Cousinage. Let's search. I'm gonna search in the dictionary. Okay. Cousinage. Cousinage. The art or practice of cozening. Cozening? Fraud.
Cousinage.
Cozenage. Okay. Thank you. Beppo, explain yourself. Terribly sorry, Guildmaster. The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare? It's so cold, and the last one of the days always have empty. You have been dishonest, coachman. I'm sorry. You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace, and your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild. If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is 20. Yes, 20 pence. I've done that arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
No, that figures. Express. Not right.
It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay.
It was so cold, and all I can do is stop myself from passing out.
I'm getting chip.
Oh! 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 We have chillblains! Oh my god! You gotta take a screenshot of this one. Doesn't matter. Let me just send it on the Discord. So, pamate. Okay. Getting back.
It was terrible. So I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even giving the buzz running.
Aw, poor Beppo. He was pretty old, you know.
Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra passenger?
You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a fifth passenger on the omnibus that night. Then we would have had another suspect. Well, I for one was sold to pay 5 pence if I was us. I paid 5 pence too, sir. I just told you that I did.
A flat fare of 5 pence across the board.
And the so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the phantom killer you so desperately needed, it's gone, dead, and buried. I have been happy if it had ever existed in the first place.
Because there's an affair he did. And then I saw that blood curdling sign as well. I saw. Oh, wait.
How do I go back to the previous? Doesn't let me go back to the previous. That's what I want to do. Oh shit. I'm almost finished with my biscuits. So don't mount that.
bring some new facts to light. Yes.
If you're not careful when you press these witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful as they did before.
Maybe, but we can't let the fear of that happening stop us from uncovering important new information.
Yes, you're so right.
I need to pay careful attention here. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction among those witnesses.
Remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting in a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as to the reason.
Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, I didn't press this one yet. This blood-curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume?
Yes, sir.
A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken. Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment that Jen was stabbed. Good gracious, really? We have another witness who did. However, the banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant. I heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath. See? That's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw that horrible blade poking up from his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see... sorry. Let me take some water again. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming. Even when I'm eating. Oh. I tell you. So you saw the defendant in front of those telling the victim Mr. Mason who was sitting next to him. That's what I said, isn't it? I was wondering before this was. For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Anyway, there was only the two of them inside the carriage, wasn't there? There's been much talk of fifth passenger, but as yet zero evidence. Then what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty. Something about Mr. Fairplace's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendants allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right.
You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding a knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose I might have, yes. But the cart before the horse, baby.
What is this?
Quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck.
Oh,
I expect that was me, sir. Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. How can you see through the skylight? The gentleman was on. The knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes. And the fellow holding the handle was a famous man, yes.
so in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all.
I really thought I did, but when I go over it again in my head, No, I but I didn't actually know what it was. Did I? Look around. Ooh. Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. You didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Hmm. Yeah, he could have just happened to see it. But, hmm. Well, given that he didn't shout or anything like that. Hmm. Well, it's a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time beeping through a skylight on top of an omnibus, that is. Beeping? Oh no, we have a peeping Tom here. I'm a respectable banker. I know what I saw. I remember it clear as day as a ballarat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw. Oh, I can do that, alright. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man? Hands? This is blood-soaked? Ahem. Well, perhaps soaked is laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. And you saw that from the roof? Through the skylight? Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I had pretty good view. And there was a lamp on the inside of the carriage as well, so I'm quite sure of what I saw. This banker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite about it. When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Leonardo, that's when you... That's when you should have a good look through the court record. Yeah. Not long ago, this trial was very... very nearly came to an end. You can... Let's go to that statement. This one. Percent. Oh! Saying no, no. How come you get so many points? In such a short time, maybe I was not street. I don't know. I should set the timer, and then maybe I should set the timer. Yeah, alright, I will set the timer for this one. Yeah, alright. I've started the timer for 5 minutes now. Alright, yeah. Let's present this evidence, yeah. Illy blood-soaked hands. Well, I admit that the soap might be laying it on a little thick, but But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar. What? Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGillicuddy, on the night in question. Oh, yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark colored stain there. But as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right hand glove. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent. Yeah, alright, yeah. but no, that can be right. You so you're the lie at him then. Ah, that's right, you were quite clear about it. You said, oh, it was both hands. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony in question. You said the moment that the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth? Well, it was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. It wasn't both hands, it was one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused. Yeah. No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Why, I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. Why what should be gold standard? I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate some hard words there. Why? I don't even understand. Yeah, he's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? Mr. Naruhodo. I'm getting crazy here. I'm getting crazy here. If he had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could better this trial completely. Something to show this man has compelling reason to lie in his testimony. Let us save the game first before I even proceed. Yes, save the game. We have 49 seconds left in the same mode. Yeah. Alright, yeah. Alright. Yeah. Let's go back. Maybe do I have evidence? Let's check the court record first. Letter E. What can we present as evidence? You know that it's a proof that here, alright. Apart from this one, we see right here. Maybe we can also use this one, right? Right. Yeah, alright. 4, 3, 2, 1. Timer done. Are you happy now? I hope that made you happy, my dear. Sing mode is hard, you know. Was it? Was it really so quick?
Compelling reason. Why does he have to lie? Why does he have to lie? Do I have evidence? Hmm. This is not compelling enough as a reason to lie. Well, but yeah, it can be. Because, you know, if he gets convicted, he can just he can so yeah, I think we have reason. My lord. Yes, counsel. The defense is ready to present evidence. By Jove, are you sure? Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony. Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness' alleged deception of the court. This is the only one, right? This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded. Yes, that list of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion. The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Ugh. What? Mr. Fairplay are currently indebted financially to the accused. No, well, it's barely worthy being called a debt. Oh, kape, arigato. Thank you for the raid. I didn't know you streamed. How was your stream? And thank you for following the fellow guarded. Thank you. Thank you for following Crits. Irashaimase. I hope you had fun. We're currently playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, guys. How was your stream? What did you do, Kape? Irashai, konnichiwa. Stream was chaotic but chill. How does that even go? Chaotic but chill. Welcome back, Kapen. Oh, you played Stacklands again. That's nice. That's great. How are you, viewers? Welcome to the stream. My name is Ayu. I'm everyone's oneesan, and I'm your oneesan. I am currently playing Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Thank you very much for the raid again. Let me give you another shout out. Yeah. And then also apart from playing games like this, I also do karaoke streams. I also do study streams and whatever goes, you know. Yeah. All right. Let's go back, shall we? I hope you're all doing well. Let me just adjust because I noticed that this is blocked. Though I'm blocking the script. If any of you are aware with the Ace Attorney games, I hope some of you have played that before. We're currently playing it. We're currently playing like the latest installment of the game right now. So just chill back and feel free to lurk as well if you need to get some rest. Also, Kapen, take some rest. Of course, you just streamed and hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate and eat if you haven't eaten lunch yet. Okay.
Alright, let's go back. According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say? Well, what of it? Okay, eat well. What of it? Let's suppose Mr. McGilder were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case? These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist. Ah! Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never, in fact, saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant? Aw, thank you. Order, order! Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Yes, my lord. Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Good. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim? Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. All right. Now let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth in a pinch. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGilden's hands. Both of them. And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. So you keep saying. I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir. Go ahead, Mr. First. Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands? I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both his hands, not just one. What? What? Oh no. It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear? Yes. Mr. Naruto, this is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last. Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. What the witnesses really saw. There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself, though. Not until I heard that scream. Anyway, the fact remains. There can't have been anyone else inside the carriage, or we all would have seen. He keeps on fixing that wig. Well, lo and behold, in truth or fact, no one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly,
There was no one else inside the carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about.
You love the judge, Meg?
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case. Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel. Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. What the witnesses really saw. There was blood in both. Yeah, we know that. Mata! No. The evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record. I'm very well aware of that, sir, but nevertheless, I know what I saw and I stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands. He's defiant, even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw, but why? Your reasoning is dire. Huh? One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers. Yeah. Mata! Don't you try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance. Yeah. Take note, Sephiroth. The voice, the Japanese voice for Van Zeeks is Kenji Tsuda. Tsuda Kenji. If you know him, like the voice of House Husband, you know what I mean. It's a matter of fundamental. But for crying out loud, we all know that no one else could possibly have done it. I was just trying to save us all some time. You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? Had you hoped to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty? That's not entirely not what I was hoping for. I was just lost a little guinea or 10 when I backed the wrong horse in the derby, that's all. He even gambled. I was going to win it all back. There was a fixture in this weekend, that's a sure thing. A little guinea or 10. I'm a banker. No one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend. I think you may have revealed rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir. This witness couples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness. Is that really how it's supposed to work? I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attackers' hands with both blood on them. You definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands? Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. Gilda's glove has any signs of blood on it. That's right. The thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGilda sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir. He wasn't wearing these gloves? That's correct, sir. And I saw blood on both his bare hands quite clearly. It's true that the dark colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see. I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGillicuddy's gloved hands. There wasn't blood on his hands? This is puzzling indeed. But this must be significant somehow. I'm sure of it. That's just... Yes. Mata! You didn't see anything? Oh, yes, sir. That is to say, no, that I didn't. Very sorry, sir, but I said it was very sorry, yes. It was very long of me to make up stories and say what I saw him stand and tap the man. Would you agree, sir? I don't know what you're insinuating, but I certainly wasn't making up stories. Still, to say that you saw nothing isn't right either, is it? No, sir, I saw nothing at all. Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London streets, no? Oh, please, you didn't even see that. It's so cold that night, you see. It was all I could do to keep from passing out there. Yes, my head was fairly frozen, solid to say, sir. It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights. Beppo! Ah! Anyway, the fact remains, there can have been anyone else inside the carriage, or you would all have seen Mata! And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus. That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over. Oh yes, I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter. Which rather... Oh, no. I blush. Eh? Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place. Actually, if it was a cold winter night, why would they be staying there in the first place? Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Couldn't? Why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door. Oh! It was locked? Oh, that's right. It is a public bus service for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play. Yes, I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb off the roof deck and to look down longingly into the warm cabin below. Well, I can assure you, I wasn't just looking down, I was glaring long and hard. And that's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed. Unequivocal, I would say. I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? They might not have been able to. Yeah, okay, posture check. I am doing my best, sitting properly. I also stretched, so yeah. Thank you for that posture check. I'm having my posture check right now. I'm sitting properly. I don't think they. So just to give you a preview, here in the court record, so we have the place where the murder took place, and if you check properly, if the two gents were sitting here at the back seat, they wouldn't have been able to
see properly from above. Let's have a different view. Can we not? Like from here. Yeah, you can see inside, but it depends on where you're seated as well. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight and the floor on the upper deck. Is that right? That's right. Yes. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight for you. What? Oh by golly, really? Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Idiot! Objection! Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nepalese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify the area on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated? There's only one possible place, you know. In here. Let's just double check just to see, because the 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 victim was killed in this side. Let's just double check. Yeah, so he was killed on this side, like left side, but so the passengers will not be able to see if there's anyone on the right side. And this orientation. So yeah, we have our answer. Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here. Ah, that's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. Ah! Idiotic! It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Japanese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity. I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude. Can you, Mr. Naruhodo? I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from the witnesses on the roof deck? We don't have any idea. I don't want to make a mistake. Let me just save. Okay. Go back. I have no idea. I have literally no idea.
But as a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look into you will look to the sky and walk on, making sure all signs of tears are gone. Go on. This isn't just a case of going on, Mrs. Hopper. All right then. I'll go on. The defense would like to put forward a name. What? Seriously?
You're a fool. That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion for his own limitations. At toast, the hard lessons not yet learned. Let us not delay counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On that night, on the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was actually he himself. I think that is the only. Okay, not this one. Oh, not this one. Okay. I believe it's him. Come on! The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded? What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant. If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zix. People talk about those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own, but I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. What are you trying to say? Let me explain in terms that even a student of the artless backwater, such as yourself, may understand. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built. But that premise may be wrong. What? If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way. What inconsistency, counsel? Oh, the defendant's gloves, my lord. Eh? Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claim that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim. Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains. The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance. Yes, their testimony remains unchanged. Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them. And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit. Extraordinary. Wow. Order! 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 What exactly are you postulating? The defense postulation is just that. Nothing more than a conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused. But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said that two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Thank you for the hydrate. I badly needed. Soda mate. Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I couldn't see the rest of them though. I could see the rest of them though. Yes, that's right. Both chins were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things. And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen spot at first? Um, I'm afraid I don't remember. And you call yourself a hatter? The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin. How can you be so sure? Because if there had been the accused, Mr. McGildet would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact. Unless, that is, you are not proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled. Ah! Actually, it's possible because, he's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabins of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. Gildet would have been unaware of it. Order! And there is clearly a simple solution to this problem. Bring the accused, Mr. Gildet, to the stand. Well, what say you, counsel? The prosecution objects, my lord. On what grounds? As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police. But what if there is some reason why he's unable to speak freely? I guess McGildet is non-educated ruffian. Oh? If it indeed turns out that the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Counsel for the defense. We got some... What? Is that the next lyrics to that? Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. I don't know. Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion? My lord, should we ask Mr. Gilbert to testify? Oh my god. Of course we demand his testimony. I'm sorry, it's been a long time. It's not like I watched Scooby-Doo faithfully before. Although, when I was in grade school, and we were in our computer class, there was a time when there was a Scooby-Doo game in our computers back then. Hello, Fonzie! Irashaimase! Okaeri nasai, welcome home. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to the stream. How are you? I hope you're doing well. We're playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. The Inosuke here is like the ancestor of Phoenix, right? Yeah. Lunch break time. Oh, I hope you're eating well. I haven't eaten lunch yet, but I will soon. So I will have to take a break once that time comes. Anyhow, as I was saying, so in our computer class back in grade school, our computers have if you know, there's a live action live action movie of Scooby-Doo way back then. Like there's a case where there are pterosaurs. Wait, I don't even know English. Pterodons, I think. Pterodactyls, maybe it's better. Pterodactyls
in that movie, and then I forgot the what the goal of the game was, but I just remember that there's a game like that in the PC. I just remembered because Arnie said, I'm sorry. I, I won't eat my words anymore.
The defense would like to call Mr. Gilded to the stand. Mr. McGilded to the stand. See, I ate my words again, sorry.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury.
Yes, I need a little time to consider this. If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say. Get the man out here, I say. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Oh yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says the money must be heard. Very well, the court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear. Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord.
There are now two matters on which the court decides to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin. The song's now stuck in your head. Yeah, I know. Eventually it will go away. I know. With you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal the fact from the police?
Begad, no. It is not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the questions, please.
Still better than baby shark do 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 baby shark do 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 baby shark do 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 baby shark.
Oh no, Fonzie. What are you making me sing?
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell you so or keep my mouth shut?
Tell us what, Mr. Golded.
The fine fella representing me is absolutely right. In a carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true?
Aye. It was me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
You.
What?
I'm sorry, Fonzie. No, Magnus McGilded. That convenient excuse can save you now.
I'm truly sorry, so I am Lord Van Zix. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They have hauled her into this here courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her for that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
And who was this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, the wee thing that's happened to me in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since. We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness statements to be disregarded by the court. I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings. What? Ooh. What's it? Smoke! Fire! There's a fire! Look, someone's trying to get away. Go after them. So you go. I can't see anything. There's smoke. What's going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruto. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Smoke! A bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. Oh no. Oh no. We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended. To be continued. Well, guys, it seems we have reached some checkpoint in our game today. Yeah. And with that said, let me just take a break for a little bit before I proceed any further. I have to check if if food is ready, if we're gonna have lunch soon. Because if we do, I would end the stream for now and then maybe continue later in the afternoon. I hope that's okay with you guys. So just a little bit. Just wait for me for a little bit, okay? Go stretch, go rest for a little bit. Okay. I'm back. Hello, Imitation. Welcome. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Mr. Naruto. Miss Susato. Chotomatte. Welcome, how are you? I hope you're... I'm back, guys. I hope you're doing well. Chotomatte, ne? Chotomatte. You're well? And that's great. That's great to know. Yeah, thank you. I'm back. Hi. Okay, let's go back to the case. Let's try to see what we can finish. Okay, before we have lunch. Okay. I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom.
courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. A young girl? But could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilden was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what became of Mr. McGilden apparently? But there are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with a young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking. I think I should give a shout out to you, Imitation, because you're a streamer. You have a really good voice, you know. Whenever I check out your streams. Yay! Please to check out his streams as well. There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Oh. According to the coachman, Mr. Beckman, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. Now that comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures just don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Mrs. Sato. Yes! Ooh! Ooh! There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilden. Look! She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilden. You know, because, I mean, earlier, you know, there was smoke in the courtroom, right? And then, now that I remember, yeah, we have fire from the, this two things right here. I even forgot what it's called. Anyhow. Yeah. Like earlier, like SM Unicorn was saying that it's a fire hazard. Given that the structures are made of wood here, and then you have fire. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks, my lord, I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which revealed proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army? What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught, and now occupies this stand. You know, I really like the get-up of the girl. You have a name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which included such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What's the meaning of this deplorable behavior? If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilden?
think perhaps I ought to explain here why it is that this wee lads were here in the first place and why she tried to bolt like that. It is all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Hmm. Very well, Mr. McGilded. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Just what did happen that night? It's not like the defense lawyer needs that information or anything.
Okay. The young girl.
On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fellow collapse on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. When I turned to find out where the scream had come from, about my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
Oh.
Hmm.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather, on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct?
Aye, this is exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the fifth passenger, my lord.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord.
You're welcome. I appreciate you being here. I hope you'll enjoy your stay. I have no idea where to start. Cross-examination.
Mata!
And when you first got on the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board?
There was not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were. I see.
Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. It's the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, this is how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, this is the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well.
Then a loud thud, you say? And a scream?
Ah, that's right. How can I explain it? Just like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise.
So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed?
Well, now, you remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fellow on the floor.
You didn't see anyone.
But at the same moment you did hear a scream.
Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume?
Not above me, no, my lord. It was from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes.
Well, there was a fella collapse.
You set him up, the victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? This common courtesy, so it is.
I find that a little hard to believe.
Ah, Lord Van Six, why would that be? You wait to find the man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cab. Anyway, upstanding member of London society, that is.
Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead.
So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with the level. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no! I was always intended to report it, so I was. Only I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got the meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes, the scream he says he heard at the same time as the thought of the victim collapsing. Well, then I turned to find out where that scream had come from. And bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Oh, I forgot to press that. Oh my god. I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Navajo, being the defendant's lawyer and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone. Being the defendant's lawyer and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at this testimony. Let's just say it's trying. We certainly had precious little time to talk to Mr. McGilden before the trial. But we mustn't be dispirited. We must just try to learn all the facts we can. When we arrived in London this morning, I didn't see my day panning out like this. Mr. Navajo don't know grumbling, even in your head. How did you know? Sorry, I missed the last testimony. Let's press the last testimony. You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. It was hard to see in the dim light, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, my heart nearly stopped beating in mid-chest. You're really overacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her. The seat opposite? But that's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in a mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this Elgin was using. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Like you all again, I would say so. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with a knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses did not, in fact, see what all Mr. McGill did. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was, in fact, this girl and the late Mr. Mason. My lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. It is certainly possible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl. After that, of course, with a scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up the horses. We have to find some
some discrepancy somewhere. Let me just go to options. Configuration? No. Gameplay? No. What was that? Oh, here. Previews. Review scene. Oh. Move cursor. Ah, there. A and D. Okay. A and D. Let's try. Okay. Let's try. D. A. Ah! Okay, I learned something new. Because I was struggling earlier to like go back to the previous statements. Let's check people. It was a child. Where? What? I think 10% here. Let me just save it first before we proceed. Okay. Percent. Okay. Guys, I would have to like resume later because we're gonna eat lunch now. Okay? And thank you for checking out my stream today. I'm gonna play again later. I'm just gonna have to eat lunch with my family. Okay? So end scene now. Ja, mata ne. Bye bye. So the ending song, I'll just have to sing it later tonight. I mean after lunch. Okay. Bye bye. See you later.